This is your mom's favorite show, Beer and Chill podcast. My name is Jan,
And I'm Craig.
and we would really appreciate if you would stop by and listen to our show. We are talking about interesting facts about your favorite movies, games, and TV shows.
For example, did you know that Christopher Lee and Ian McKellen had a real-life beef because Christopher Lee wanted to play Gandalf in Lord of the Rings?
And many other great facts.
We hope you check us out and enjoy the rest of your show. Bye-bye.
What's your favorite scary movie?
They mostly come at night. Mostly.
I am the devil, and I am here to do the devil's work.
Your suffering will be legendary, even in hell.
They're here.
Welcome, victims, to the Horr-Gasm podcast. Kill the lights, lock the doors, get comfy, and prepare for the sexiest and scariest podcast around. I'm Nick, and with me is my co-host, Allie.
Woo!
And we're back to scary movies!
Scary spooky movies!
Yay!
Hooray! I mean, I've been keeping myself full of spooky, scary movies lately. So
Yes, for both of us.
Yes, enough for probably us and all of the victims listening.
I think so.
Oof. What did I watch last night? I watched Into the Spider-Verse last night. Not a spooky, scary movie for the first
No.
time. But Netflix just dropped it, so. But then I watched part of Halloween.
Ooh.
That one was like the 2018 one,
Yep.
I think. Yeah, it was okay. I was going to finish it tonight when we were done here.
Finish that and then watch the new Mandalorian.
Right, that's out today too.
Yes.
Oh, spoiler alert, it's Friday today. Oh my gosh, yeah, crap, I gotta do that. Did you watch it already?
No. No, I have not, and I want to, because I saw one little spoiler. I'm like,
I was just gonna say, okay, we're gonna talk about it later because I
Okay.
have questions and comments. Okay.
Okay,
But
okay.
we won't do it because it's literally out
that'll
today.
be off pod. So.
Yes.
Okay.
But this week we watched Train to Busan.
And the prequel, Soul Station,
Station.
which sounds like a 70s
I was
groovy.
gonna say, did I think I listened to Soul Station?
Oh, that was a CD. I'm pretty sure a CD like
Sure.
Big Shot Tunes or Much
Yes.
Dance.
Yep.
I'm positive there's a Soul Station 1, 2, 3. So.
It's Soul something.
Soul
I don't know
Train.
if it's Soul.
Soul Train
Soul
was a
Train,
TV
yes.
show
Yeah,
where
yeah,
they
yeah.
just basically played music and had people dance.
I love that.
And I remember that for a fact as a kid growing up. It was even talked about on Fresh Prince. That a Soul Station or a Soul Train episode.
That's one thing I wish that we would bring back is live music. Because when my
Yes.
parents talk about, my parents were born in the 50s and 60s, and when they would go to school dances, they'd always have like
Yep.
live bands playing. And the bands would just play everything. And I'm like, ugh, I could get down to some live music. You know what I mean?
I could too. I really could.
And I think that that's why I love, like, I'm a huge concert goer. I love going to concerts. And I think that that's part of it is it's just like, when you're all together and you hear, the live people playing and you like
Yes.
feed off of their energy. And
Remember you dragged my ass to Marilyn Manson.
I sure did.
Fuck, that was a great concert.
Wasn't that awesome?
That was so good. I saw him. I saw Rob Zombie, which is a
Yes.
He puts on a show. Not just a
Such a
concert.
good
He puts
show.
on a show.
Yeah.
My first one was Biff Naked. And Out of Your Mouth opened for them. And I loved them. I grabbed their album.
Yeah.
Their only album, sadly. But they played a cover of, I think it was Madonna's. What was the song called? Music.
Oh, that's a
They
good
did
song.
a great cover of that.
Awesome.
And I saw a few others.
Yeah.
Def Leppard. I saw Def Leppard in concert.
Cool.
That was a sweet concert.
I've heard they're really, really good. My
They
mom
are.
and sister went when they were in Saskatoon here. So
That'd be a long time ago.
they went just a few years ago. Like, it was not that long ago. 4 or 5 years ago they went when they came here.
Oh, okay.
But you went a long time ago? To Def
Yeah,
Leppard?
it's been a while now.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I go to a lot of concerts. I used to go to a lot of, when I was in my youth, I listened to pop punk. So I went to like all of those concerts. Like, oh my God. It was really embarrassing, but they were amazing.
Yep.
The best concert I ever went to is 303. Do you remember 303?
Nope, I don't know if I've heard of them.
They were kind of like they sang that song that my first kiss went a little like this. And twist.
Never heard of it.
And twist. Kesha was in it. They didn't have a ton, or like, you'll never get enough when she gets a little touch. No?
Nope.
I'm trying to think of the other ones.
Give up. I don't.
They were on the radio for like a lot.
I'll look it up after.
But it was like later 2000s-ish, like the knots. But yeah, they put on an amazing show. It was awesome. Yeah.
Well, good.
My Chemical Romance was good too. Very emotional. You know, when you're like in your feelings when you're in your teens.
No.
Wearing all your eyeliner and hating the world because no one understands you.
I was listening to Offspring at that time.
Yep, same thing. Different lane.
I'm still in love with Offspring. Love them. And him. That was my him phase.
Cool.
And again, I still love him. Favorite band ever.
There you go. Yeah, I switch my music a lot. Never catch me doing the same thing.
I like a bit of everything. And I mean everything.
Really?
I do. I get weird tastes.
You know, and I can listen to just about everything except, and this is going to be weird because we're from Saskatchewan, but I cannot do country. It is the only thing I can't do.
Country's iffy with me. It has to be old. I can't,
right,
none of
like
the new
older
stuff,
but I wouldn't even call that hardly country. Like the Willie Nelson kind of stuff is more like... Yeah,
that's
like I guess I could say
rock.
I can't do like new country, I guess.
That's country rock.
Yeah, like anything on like, what is it, The Bull? 92.1 or whatever. I can't listen to anything on there. The other one that I really struggle with is Screamo. And the reason I struggle with it is because I can't sing to it. Like, I love heavy metal. That's
fair. That is
but
fair.
I can't do Screamo. It's just that one extra step where I can't sing to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I told you the other day, in the morning I woke up and had this one song in my head, this one line. And when I get those in my head, I can't stop until I find that song.
Yep.
I'm batting, 100? I've almost got them all. Like every time I have to find it, and I do find it. Only one I didn't find.
Oh.
I forget what it was, but I had Billy Idol's.
Oh yes.
Pain for Pleasure.
Yes.
No, Flesh for Pleasure. No, yeah, Flesh. Flesh for Pleasure. I think it was.
Something like that. Yeah. I remember you telling me that. Yeah. When we were talking about that, and I'm like, oh yeah, my sister, when she can't think of a song, she sends me like part of it. Or she'll send me a TikTok and be like, and it'll just be the tune. And she'll be like, hey, can you find out what song this is?
And that's...
and I have to like do investigative work. Oh, it's good.
I used to work in my youth. We had a record store.
Yes.
And it was so... It was good until someone would come in and say, hey, do you know this song? I'm like, what song? And they'd hum it to you.
Yes.
And you're like, nope.
Can't
Flesh
say I
for
do.
Fantasy.
There you go.
Billy Idol, Flesh for Fantasy. It was just in my head. Just the lyrics or the chorus.
Yeah.
And all I had was blank for fantasy, and I couldn't figure out what it was. I went through Pain for Pleasure, I went through all of it, found it, hooray.
There you go.
But like I said, people would come to me in the store. Even one funny story, Russian guy came in. This is in Estevan, and he had a very thick Russian accent. And I was told beforehand, heads up, a Russian guy came in looking for Russian music. We didn't have any. Just so you know, I'm like, okay, cool, whatever.
Yep.
He comes back in and tries with me. And he goes, you have Russian music. And at first I'm like, what? I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you. I can make you out. Say it again. Russian music you have, yes? Da? I'm like, no, I'm sorry, we don't have any Russian music at all. It's like, no, niet, thank you. Walked out.
Aww.
And for the rest of the day I spoke in Russian accent because it was just so cool. It was so thick.
Yeah.
So thick.
That's what she said.
Oh, wow. Nice. And yeah, he had a big beard, nice guy, but
Cool.
rest of the day, I was kicking around a Russian accent because it was fun. And I was a little jealous because it was a really sweet accent. But it's tough.
Yeah.
People are like, how, do you know the song? It goes, do-do-do-do-do-do-do. No, stop right there. I need a name or at least some lyrics. And this is before Google.
Exactly.
This is pre going on to Google. I know some lyrics, and you can find it in maybe 5-10 minutes.
Right.
No, back in this was 03, 02, 03. No.
Man, how did anybody solve any argument back in the day?
I don't think they did.
No.
It was a stalemate.
Just to agree to disagree all the time.
Yes. Yes.
Oh, because I feel like half the time it's just like, hey, this person's in this. No, I don't think that it's that person. Okay, let's look it up. And then that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah. The first time I ever did that, I think I might have told this before on the podcast, but I was arguing with one of my friends because I had read somewhere, and I didn't remember where, that penguins lived in Africa. And he's like, no, they don't. And I'm like, yes, they do. Pull out my BlackBerry. Now, this is circa 2009.
Wow.
Pull out my BlackBerry, hit the little internet thing, which I'd never used before, go to Google and go, do penguins live in Africa? And it popped up, yes, penguin. And I was like, look. And I have never felt a sense of accomplishment like I did in that moment. Like, it was just like, wow, that was so easy. I didn't have to argue to the death about something so stupid.
But nowadays, that's such a big thing now. People,
Yes.
people, because of the internet, because of social media, people can throw their opinions out, and it could be a wrong opinion. Like, I could go on there and say, oh, Earth is flat. And there will be people who will wish death threats on me because I'm so stupid. Or they'll thank you for coming out and telling the truth.
Yes.
Flat earther person, welcome to the club. I'm like, I was joking.
I think it's almost like an overstimulation of information. There's so much going on that people almost aren't forming their own opinion anymore, and that's really frustrating.
And they get very upset if people send them or give out their other opinion, which contradicts their opinion.
Right. And
yeah, like that's with me and the whole Alien franchise. I know a lot about that franchise, and yet people argue. And to my offense, I argue there. I go on there and I'm like, throw my 2 cents, kind of bully them away. Just so you know, putting my poindexter glasses up. You were wrong. The alien queen did this. No, it's just people they have their own opinion. Yeah. And I like to throw my own opinion out that I believe is fact. Do I know it's fact? That's iffy because it's my fact.
Right.
My facts and your facts can be the same but different, which doesn't make sense at times, but it can be.
I'm
true.
crinkling my eyebrows in confusion.
It is people believe that, for example, a good example. Alien 3 is very mixed in people like it and people don't like it, because the ones who don't like it are mad because it killed off Hicks-Newt, spoilers, Hicks-Newt, and and people were, they shouldn't have killed off Hooks, they shouldn't have killed off Newt, it was a dumb movie, they killed Ripley at the end, it's a dumb movie, blah 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 blah. Okay, but it's a great movie. It's a very dark movie. It's very goth, and it's a perfect ending to her story.
Yes.
Oh, no, it's terrible. It's blah, blah, blah. So that's your facts against my facts. I don't
think that those are facts. Those are opinions, though,
well,
I think.
it's true. Yeah.
I don't think there's
but
so much facts.
The people make their opinions sound like facts.
Right, totally, 100%. Because everybody wants to be right?
Yeah. Yes.
I was listening to this video, and the guy was saying, you can't argue with stupid people because they're never going to change their opinion. You can only constructively argue with smart people because they'll take in what you say, and while you might not, dissuade them from their point of view, you may think differently going forward. And I think that that's why I don't have any social media, because I feel like the amount of people who are idiots outweighs the people who are smart.
Yes, that is fact. That is major fact.
Yes,
right
because
there.
opinions are like assholes. Everybody everybody's got one. Yeah. So, you know, and it's just like, I just don't have enough fucks to give in a day to deal with everybody's opinions. So I'm just like, I'm going to keep my opinions to myself and only talk to them with people who I care about or who I know aren't, you know, dumb, who won't just like beat my opinions into the ground, you know. And unless we're on the podcast, then we can just talk about whatever we want.
That's true.
No one can argue with us here.
And on the podcast, our facts are true.
Yeah.
Even if some of them are bullshit.
Yeah, Icky's the fact checker, and she's sleeping, so sorry.
She's snoozing away.
Everything we say is truth. Oh my gosh. Well, we have 15 seconds to talk about Soul Station before...
Okay, Soul Station, I'll do a very, very, very quick... the short version.
Yeah, Cliff Notes version.
Cliff Notes version, animated, poorly animated in my opinion.
Oh, I love it.
You were okay with the animation. I was not. I thought it was very gritty, rough, choppy.
And I think the clunkiness adds to like the zombies
appeal.
Almost. Yeah.
It worked with the zombies, but for like the when they drew up like the people running and walking, it kind of, they tried to get a real feel, but at the same time it just looked goofy.
See, and I liked the choppy clunkiness of it because it felt almost comic booky, which is what it was kind of based off of, is very comic bookish. And I think that, like, I just got so sucked into the story that, like, you're so rooting for these main characters. So basically, there's, like, three main characters. There's a woman and her boyfriend, and then the woman's dad.
Yeah.
And they get separated, zombies start breaking out, and they're basically all trying to find each other.
Yeah. It's just kind of set in it's in Soul Station.
Yeah, it's in Seoul,
it's more of a kind of a very like lots of homeless people.
Yes.
Like the main character woman, she girl, I guess you should say, she's kind of prostituting herself out to survive. Her boyfriend is sleazebag.
Yeah.
Took pictures of her and sleeping, trying to sell them online, and trying to sell her online.
Yeah.
And she's like, I'm done with that.
Yeah.
And her dad,
quotation
marks, finds her online and goes to find her.
Yes.
And meets up with the boyfriend, and zombies happen. She's running with this older guy. They're trying to find her.
Older homeless guy, yeah.
Yeah. And, it has a great shock ending, which I did like that.
Ending,
That threw me.
Yeah.
That got me. I'm like, oh, and you saw my reaction. I'm like, okay.
And it was one of those things where, like, I didn't want to look at you while it was happening, but, like, I wanted to stare at you with wide eyes and be like, ah! Yeah, it's one of the best endings for things that, like, I didn't see coming from a mile away. I was like, what? Yeah. And then just everything kind of happens in, like, the last 5 minutes of the movie. It's only, like, 30 minutes, I think, 30 or 40 minutes. So it's like an amuse-bouche.
It felt longer to me.
Yeah.
It felt like it dragged.
Yeah.
To me,
it's slow in the beginning.
I think it's an hour.
We have to establish
I think it's an hour or so. Well, I'll even look it up. It should say here on Wikipedia.
Yeah.
It wasn't bad, but at the same time, it could have been better.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah, I really liked it. Where you didn't enjoy the animated style, I really loved it. And that's one of the things that I really liked about it.
It's 100 minutes. It's over an hour and a half.
Oh my God, really?
Yeah, I told you it felt long.
Oh.
Yeah.
Jesus, I thought it was way shorter than that.
Nope.
This is basically a double Horr-Gasm.
Pretty much.
Yeah, I love the dialogue. The dialogue was hilarious. It's again, which we'll talk in about Train to Busan, but it kind of plays up the classism again with like the first disease that they talk about is the homeless population.
Yes.
And then once the zombies come in, then their opinion switches a bit.
Yeah.
But Soul Station, super fun. We watched Soul Station and Train to Busan on Shudder. Check them out. They're fun. You can obviously watch each of them independently. They have nothing to do with each other. It's just sort of the same world that they happen in and the same zombie design. But yeah, really fun. And with that, we should talk about Train to Busan.
We totally should.
Yay!
진짜 미치겠네. 팀장님?
week we watched Train to Busan. It's a 2016 movie. It was directed by San Ho Young and written by Ju-Suk Park. So yeah, very good. Hooray.
Yeah.
Yay. These Korean movies are some of my favorite movies, like ever. Ever.
See, I forgot how this movie began. I've seen this movie before, but I forgot how it began.
Yeah.
And this is the first time I've seen a zombie animal.
Yeah.
This is the first for me. If there was other ones, I forget them. But it starts out, they're not going to play yet, but basically it starts off this guy driving through, they spray his truck down, he's like, oh, you're going to kill my animals again. And he's driving along, and his phone's ringing, he's reaching for it, looks over, thump, we think he hits someone, he hits a deer.
Yes.
He's like, oh, hit a deer, grr, stupid thing, whatever, gets in his vehicle, drives away, and the deer kind of shakes a bit, flops over, gets up, its eyes are glazed over, like the pupils are clear, and it just kind of stumbles off.
Yes.
And I'm like, that's a first.
So creepy.
But again, this is where I really want to see, in a zombie movie, zombies attacking everything. Not just people, zombies attacking zombies, and zombies attacking animals. Because when Walking Dead, they just kind of walk by. They ignore animals, but they focus on humans.
Yeah, I like the animal thing. That was really cool. I don't know how the zombie thing would work, because like zombies don't have anything that they like need in each other, you know, because if they're dead and they want it, then they need to eat like humans, you know, it's not alive anymore. So it's like, you know, like eating rotten meat almost, like, you know, if you saw fresh meat, you wouldn't eat fresh, you know, you wouldn't eat the rotten stuff beside you. You'd go after the fresh stuff.
That's a good point.
Because I've thought of that before too. And it's like, you know, but like, you know, what's the appeal almost, you know, and like.
But in this, they don't really eat. They just bite.
Maul.
You don't see them, you know, eating or consuming. As soon as someone's knocked down or bitten, they ignore it. And they go to someone else. They go hunting for something else that's alive.
Yeah, it's interesting. I've never really dug into the lore of these, honestly.
Although I think of your zombie animal, I think of zombievers. And black sheep.
Ooh.
I think that's zombie sheep. I'm sure it's...
Huh.
Yeah. I have to look. It looks fun.
Yeah, for sure. So where did you first hear about this movie?
Oh, I think I saw it on Netflix.
Oh, okay.
And I'm like, ooh, Train to Busan. I heard good things about that. Because I remember hearing about it was good things. I watched the trailer. I'm like, ooh, this looks good. And I finally watched it in 2 parts. I watched half of it. Then I got busy. Then I finally came back and finished it off. I'm like, oh, yeah, this is a good movie.
Yes. Yep.
And, yeah, I enjoyed it. I thought it was a great zombie movie.
For sure.
I like the look. I like the design. I like the going by the zombie rule book.
Yep.
They kind of took the fast zombies.
Yep.
They took the, the bite or scratches infects. And I'm trying to think if you see any shots to the head. People getting shot or...
There's not really... They don't really kill very many.
No.
They don't kill almost any of the zombies, actually.
There's a few who get the other heads bashing, but that's about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So...
Yeah.
What about you?
First, actually, Jessica told me about this movie.
Oh.
And she was like, oh, this is a good movie. And I'm like, that sounds scary. No. And then once I started watching horror movies, I was like, this was one of actually the first ones I watched. And I was like, oh, you know what, I'll just watch it, whatever. It'll be fine. And it scared the crap out of me. But it's so much more than that. Like, it's got so much heart. And you don't come across a zombie movie, like, where at the ending, I was, like, bawling. Like, and I cry a lot during movies, but, like, this one, but I don't usually cry during horror movies. Because there's so much else going on that it's like, oh, okay, main character died, that kind of sucks. But at the end of this movie, the, like, emotions everybody's going through and the realism that is being portrayed by the actors, like, oh,
yeah,
your heart is breaking.
The little girl, she does a phenomenal job in this movie.
Yes.
And yeah, that's where I think the Asian culture of horror movies is superior to Western culture horror movies
Yes.
because
Yeah.
they have the heart, they have the passion.
It's
the
so
soul.
different.
It really is.
Yeah, I
like
love...
take Dawn of the Dead remake
Yeah.
and take Train to Busan. Mm-hmm. Now you got very, very similar zombie movies.
Yes.
Zombies are fast.
Yeah.
It's bloody. It's
Yeah.
not. I think the Westerns got more of the effects wise,
Yeah.
but for story, for everything, that's where Train to Busan wins.
Yes.
Because like in Dawn of the Dead remake, you don't really care for the characters that much. You know,
Is that the one that's in the mall?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
You got the woman who loses
Yep.
her husband. Okay, yeah. You got the guy, her kind of love interest.
Yeah.
He's kind of a loser.
Yeah. Yes.
You got Ving Rhames, who kicks ass,
Yes.
but you don't have no connection to him.
Exactly.
The only
yes.
one you really do is the gun shop owner across the way, which we see very little of.
We loved him.
And that's about it.
Yes. Yes.
You got the security guard guys who are assholes. You got the young guy who has got the hots for the one girl.
Like, none of the characters have a good arc, you know?
No.
Like the main character in this one, like the dad in this one, his, like, arc in this movie is ridiculous. Like, it's crazy, and it's
really is.
phenomenal.
And
you
even
know?
the other guy who, I forget his name, the kind of the tough guy. Who's
Yes.
got the pregnant wife.
Yeah.
He's, you see him, he first comes off as kind of this big, tough, kind of little bit of pussy whip character.
Yeah.
But he has a bit of an arc too. He goes from, he sees the guys, he calls him a jerk too the whole movie.
Yes.
The
Jerk and
dad.
asshole.
Yes. But at the end, they kind of, they connect.
Yes.
You
Big
don't
time.
get that in Dawn of the Dead.
No.
You really don't. Like Vin Rhames' character, he's kind of the tough guy.
Yeah.
He's all about getting to Fort Pastor to be with his brother.
Right.
Finds out that's dead. It's gone. The only guy he really connects with is the guy across the street at the gun shop.
store, yeah.
That's it. None of the other characters he connects with. When they're in the bathroom, him and the other black guy are in the bathroom.
Yeah.
They're just trying to connect. He's like, you know what? Wipe your ass, say 5 Hail Marys, and deal with it.
Yes.
He is an asshole to him. There's no
Exactly.
connection, no nothing.
No.
That's where, like, those movies are good. They're good horror movies, but they're missing the heart. They're missing
Yes.
the human factor of it.
But there's just something about Eastern movies where, like, even, like, the older women, like the sisters in this,
Yes.
like, they are,
Oh.
how much screen time do they get?
Not
Maybe
much, but
5-10 minutes?
It's so memorable.
But when something happens to one of them, you're just like your heart rips in two. Because they're portrayed and, like, everybody cares about each other by the ending,
Yes.
And they're working together. And, like, you just feel the love between the characters.
Yes.
So when something happens to one, because everybody's kind of sort of paired off, except for a few, but mostly everybody's paired off. And, like, it's an Asian zombie movie, so not a lot of people are going to make it. So you see then these characters perishing and you're like,
Yep.
oh my God. And, like, there's some really good deaths in this, and some really good redemption stories, and some really good comeuppance.
Oh, yes.
Like, some of the best. But, it's just, it's like, very turbulent, this movie. Like, it doesn't hardly slow down. It's crazy.
And when I say, with the whole, zombie Bible, they
Yes.
choose off, they add something new.
Yes.
Which threw me off. The whole, when it's dark out, the zombies are inactive. They
Yes.
seem to, just kind of, they power down a bit. They're
Do you
not
think it has something to do with their eyes?
It must be.
Because whenever they... Excuse me, jeez. Shouldn't have eaten Burger King before this. Whenever they go through... Because obviously Train to Busan, they're trapped in a train. Not a big
When you
surprise.
go through tunnels, yeah.
Yes, when they go through the tunnels, the zombies, like, are confused. So they'll, like, throw something on the other end of the cart and then scurry around the zombies.
It's
which
like,
is interesting.
It's kind of like when when it's dark out, they can't see as well, but they can
Yes.
still hear very well.
Right. And they're attracted to noise.
Yes, when it's light out, they can then see and track what they
Right.
hear.
Yes.
It's
It's very dependent on sight, it seems.
They are, but also what they can't see, they follow their ears.
Right. Right.
It's a good twist, and it works very well.
Yes. It adds some really good suspenseful moments.
Yes.
Because I have seen this movie, I think this was my 5th time seeing it. And still in certain scenes, when they, they get out of the tunnel all of a sudden, and they have to hide, and I can still feel myself holding my breath. Or when they're running through the carts, I yell, run, 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 run. Like, I just can't help myself. It's just because you get caught up in the situations.
You totally do.
I can't help it.
Nope. And that makes a good horror movie.
That's a good
If it can
movie.
get you in there, if it can drag you in, that you're
Yes.
actually involved.
Yes.
That's a win.
Absolutely.
That means that's a damn good horror movie.
Exactly.
As opposed to, what's a bad horror movie? Just for your sake, Maximum Overdrive.
Blech.
Yes. You weren't in there. Like, we'd see when it's chasing the people, you're like,
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah. Couldn't have cared less.
Yeah.
Oh, I watched a really bad one. Yeah. Anyways, I'll talk about it next time.
Okay.
I'll talk about that. I watched a really bad one the other day. I meant to talk about it in Talking Chop, but we're already way past 30 minutes into this episode.
Okay, let's just
Oh, characters.
So cast. Okay, cast. Okay, so so did the cast. This movie stars Gong Yu as Seok Woo, a fund manager who is estranged from his daughter.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Ma Dong.
Not a fun manager.
No.
Fund. Yeah.
Fund. Is it fun? He's not a fund.
It kind of sounds like fun manager, and I'm like, I want to be a fun manager.
I do too. We got Ma Dong Suk as Sang Hua, a tough man.
Yes.
I like this character.
He's the best character in this movie, hands down.
Yeah. Kim Suan as Suan. Oh, they kept her name as... Oh, that's smart. Seok Woo's young daughter who wants to go to Busan to see her mum.
She's fantastic.
She does a great job in this.
Yeah.
Young Yumi as Seong Kyung, Sang Hyun's kind, brave wife who is pregnant.
Yes.
During the film, she's the one who mostly looks after Suan.
Yes.
I'm just going to do it easier for us. So we got fund manager. We got tough guy.
Yep.
We got daughter.
Yep.
We got tough guy's wife. Choi Woo-shik as Young-guk, a young baseball player who is going to Busan to a baseball game.
Yes.
An Soo-yi as Jing-hee,
Yes.
Young-guk's friend/girlfriend.
Yeah. They got the
Kim,
hats for each other.
Yeah, well, she does for him. He's
Yeah.
kind of embarrassed.
She's sweet on him.
And he's a big baby about it.
Yep.
Kim Un-sung as Young-suk, CEO of Stallion Express. He's the rich bad guy.
Oh, he's the bad guy.
Chao Gu... Oh, I hate these names. Choi Go-hua as a homeless man who suffers from PTSD after a zombie attack. He doesn't even get a name. He's just a homeless guy.
Yeah, of course.
Young Suk-young as captain of the train. Yi Soo-young as Injil, elderly woman who is older sister of Young-gil.
Yep.
And Park Myeon-sin as Young-gil, sister of In-gil.
There you go. Yeah.
Oh, that was tough.
I was going to say, that feels like everything.
So we got the grandmas, we got the engineer, we got the
Yeah.
old, homeless guy.
Yep.
And rich asshole.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yay. Yeah.
People.
Unfortunately, our Korean isn't as good, so we're just gonna,
Korean
give them...
sucks.
Yes, give them names to, while their language is beautiful, we're just not going to butcher it. And that's totally on us. We just can't do the pronunciations very well.
Yeah.
So, sorry. But worth it.
My Japanese is way better.
Yeah.
I can't
yeah.
lie.
Yeah.
Far superior to this.
Korean movies are still my favorite, though. Like, I would watch, and, like, I also love K-pop, but, like, I would watch, if I had to only choose one style of horror movies for the rest of my life, it would be Korean horror movies. Definitely. 100%.
I'd broaden it to Asian.
Interesting.
I would, just because Japanese got some great horror,
absolutely, they do, yeah. Yeah.
So, should we get into the plot?
Let's do it.
Okay, so, A chemical leak at a biotech plant causes the start of a zombie apocalypse that slowly spreads across South Korea.
Woohoo!
Okay, it's
Very, very
chemical leak.
Raccoon City of them.
It is. So fund manager.
It's hard to
Suk-woo,
say, hey?
Yeah, is a cynical workaholic and divorced father.
Mm-hmm.
His daughter, let's call her Sue, wants to spend her birthday with her mother in Busan. After being overcome with guilt after watching a video of Sue suffering from stage fright while singing Aloha O. Is that how you pronounce that song?
Yep.
It's that Hawaiian
Yep.
song.
From Lilo and Stitch.
Yes. At a recital due to his absence, he decides to take her to Busan via an early KTX 101 from Seoul Station. Other passengers include working class man, tough guy,
Yep.
and his pregnant wife,
Yep.
selfish COO, asshole,
Ugh.
a high school baseball team,
Yep.
including young guy and team cheerleader girl.
Oh, she's a cheerleader.
Yeah, she says that in the movie.
Oh.
I'm here to cheer you guys on.
Oh,
You
I thought she just meant like I'm here to cheer you guys on.
You weren't paying attention.
I didn't know that she was a cheerleader.
Yep. And elderly sisters 1 and 2.
Yes.
And then homeless stowaway. As the train departs, and again, we'll do a quick little talk here.
Yes.
This is a good beginning. It shows that, he's workaholic is right. Like he's at work, working away.
Yep.
And he asked one of his co-workers or his underlings, what's the popular thing for kids nowadays? Because it's his daughter's birthday.
Yes.
And he comes home and he's arguing with his wife that, your daughter wants to come see me by herself. He's like, no, that's dangerous, which is
He's
good.
not wrong.
No, he's not at all.
This movie could have gone a lot different if she went by herself.
Yes. And he's trying, he's like, no, not, we'll go another time. She's like, no, you promised.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, it's your birthday. You think I forgot, but I didn't. And he bought her a Wii. She's like, and she already has one.
Yes. And she's like, you bought this for me on Children's Day already. And he was like, well, what else do you want? She's like, I want to go see Mom in Busan. And he's like,
okay. Yeah. And he's there, and he has Mom there to help look after while he's at work, which is, I think, a lot.
Because he's at work all the time, yeah.
And as he's kind of, changing and getting, he sees a video of his daughter, and she kind of stops halfway, and she's looking for him in the crowd. I'm like, aw.
Yes.
So.
Poor thing.
So he's going to take her to Busan and be a good dad.
Yeah.
As the train departs, signs of chaos from the epidemic reaches the station, and an infected woman runs inside, unnoticed. She soon turns into a zombie, attacks an attendant, and rapidly, many crew and passengers are turned. This is fast.
And that's, the turning is like minutes.
I think it depends how bad you get bitten. Like if it's like a bit on the hand, it takes a little longer to travel. Sure. But if you're caught in the neck or anywhere that really can travel quick,
close, yes,
you turn fast.
It's very a la 28 Days Later, where it's like real quick. Like how long do they have? They have seconds in that movie though, so it's not like that.
But
fast.
That's more of a blood transfer. But
right,
it's the same thing.
Yeah,
it's the same thing because it's by cuts and scratches in this movie.
Right.
The remaining passengers quickly secure themselves in the front and rear cars, observing that the infected zombies only attack if they can see them or hear them, nor can operate the train's doors.
Right.
So they're dumb, fast zombies.
Yes.
They'll learn from news reports of the rapidly spreading epidemic across the country. And hardworking dad discovers the biotech plant was connected to his business. Oh, I missed that part. He uses his connection to try to secure safe travels for Sue and himself.
Yay.
So that's why his co-worker called him and asked, is this my fault?
Yes.
And he's like, no, of course not.
No, it's not your fault.
And it totally was. Oh my goodness. The train stops at Daejeon Station, supposedly secured by the military. The passengers disembark into an empty station, but soon find the soldiers have become zombies. Many passengers are attacked and killed as they race back to the train, while most of the surviving ones safely board the front cars. Also, when they first, the zombies first attack in the cars,
Yes.
the dad, he kind of closes the door on Tough Guy and his wife pretty quick. And then he kind of opens it again. And this is also to the urging of Asshole.
Yes, exactly.
Asshole business guy who, you know, kind of chastises him a bit. So, why'd you open it up? They could have brought the zombies in with us. And he's like, well, And Tough Guy, he kind of gets a little rough with the dad and, you know.
Which he deserved.
He did. That was kind of a dick move.
Yes.
But also you got to think, you know, you got your daughter to protect.
Exactly.
It is.
It's like, what would you do in that situation?
Yeah, down if you do, down if you don't. So they get to the next station.
Yes.
And zombies.
Zombies!
Yeah. Sue, I forget his names right now. Sue, Tough Guy, Dad, and one of the old ladies.
Yep.
And the homeless man find themselves between two cars of zombies. Oh, sorry, wrong one. Sue, pregnant woman.
Yes. One of the older women.
Woman.
Yeah.
And
there's one more person with him. Yes, you're right. Yeah.
Oh, and the boy. Nope, not the boy.
Nope. Because the dad, the tough guy, and the baseball guy are the three of them that make their way up to the.
Hold on. Who's time out. Who's Jin Hee? Okay, so
yeah. Intermission, looking up information. Fact checker, why are you sleeping? This is your job.
Oh, maybe it was the girl. That makes no sense.
Because wasn't she
Young Duck's friend. Whatever. You know what? Whatever. I don't care anymore. I've lost care. So they're in the restroom hiding.
Yes.
And
the dad and the tough guy and the baseball player have to make their way up because they all have cell phones, right? This is like 2016, so they all have cell phones. Yeah, having saved my ride, cover, race to board the moving train and end up in the back cars. Yes. Yes, because they're trying to stop the zombies. Exactly. The operator drives the train to Busan, learning it has been established as a quarantine zone. Learning of the trapped loved ones, the business guys group use the darkness of tunnels along the route to cross through the zombie-filled cars and rescue them. Yes, so this is what we were talking about before, where they wait. The dad's looking at the GPS on his phone. I like that. That was a smart scene. Yes, so he can see where the tunnels are. Yeah, and can see how long they are, so he knows how long they have to get through the cars to clear them. And also, they prep very smartly. They're not terribly smart because they have them skin exposed, but they wrap their forearms up. Yes, with they have a shield and they have bats. Yeah, they have like T-shirts and tape around their arms so that if the zombie tries to bite them from the front. It's like when you're trying to train a dog. Yes. Attack dog. You got to cover up your arm so he'll bite the arm. Right. But you're protected. Exactly. So that's smart. Yeah. And as they go through the cars, it becomes dark and then they stop. And they're like, oh, we can use this. Yes. So they do different things through the cars like... They use the cell phone at one point where they sneak up halfway, duck into a seat, throw the cell phone behind them and call it, and then sneak around them that way. It's like a video game, basically. Yeah. Then they use also like baseballs when they get to the baseball guy's card. Yep. They go through the baseballs, and then another one they crawl up where like the luggage goes, like the carry-ons go, so they sneak around that way. Smart. Yeah. The group continues moving towards safe front cars. They inadvertently alert the zombies in the last car before the safe one. Yes. Tough Guy and business guy, Dad, stay back to hold the doors closed while the others escape. But Tough Guy, the asshole guy, has convinced the other passengers that they are potentially infected and they should not help. Yes. Tough Guy sacrificed himself to give Dad time to get the others to safety. Yes. The one old lady is too slow and is caught by the zombies to her sister's horror. Exactly. Oh, it's so sad because her sister's sitting there watching, and she's like trying to rush Suan and the pregnant lady forward, and then she gets stuck with the jambies, And they go, nom, 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 nom.
And there's a great scene earlier, like right at the beginning, where
Yes.
Sue gives her seat up to the
Yeah.
older woman. And they're like, oh, such a good girl.
Yeah.
And that's also when she, Sue talks to the tough guy and tough guy's
Yes.
wife, and they kind of bond a little bit.
Yes. And her dad is like so mad at her, and he's like, why would you give up
Yes.
your seat?
He's
She's like,
he's busy making business calls at this
yes.
time.
And she's like, well, I know that Granny's knees hurt. And it's like, oh.
Yeah, and he's like, yo, look out for yourself. And she's
Yeah.
like, no.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. She's such a sweet little girl.
She
And
really
it's so
is.
nice that, he doesn't jade her in any way, even though
Yeah.
she lives with him. It's so sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Young Suk leads the other passengers into the front cars to force... Sorry, Asshole leads the
Yeah.
other passengers in the front cars to force Dad's group into a closed vestibule,
Yes.
believing them infected. So basically, we got, going from the back of the train to the front, we got infected. Then we have the surviving passengers.
Yep.
And now the group that went through the passengers
Yeah.
are now ahead of them.
Our main group. So it's like,
And
the
they're-
infected are in 5. The assholes group is in 4. And now our main group, we're following are in 3.
Between 4 and 3.
Yes.
And they block them off too, so they
Yep.
can't...
Come back in.
Yes. Just, you fools.
It's like, something good's going to happen when.
Old Lady 2, shaken by the passenger selfishness and her sister's death,
Yep.
lets the zombies into the front car, killing most of them. Though Asshole manages to escape into a restroom with
With the engineer.
one of the attendants.
Yep.
The train is forced to stop near East Dago train station due to a blocked track,
Yes.
forcing the survivors to seek a new train. Asshole, in his escape, pushes Jinghee and the train captain
Yep.
and attendant to a pack of zombies.
Yep.
Weird. We just skipped a whole part there.
Yeah. Skipping everything.
Yeah, so basically he escapes. Everyone else
Yes.
gets out of the car and they're trying to get through.
Yep.
An out-of-control train causes a derailment, trapping Dad,
Pregnant
Sue,
lady.
pregnant
Yeah.
lady, and the homeless man under
Yeah.
a train car.
Right.
The other two, the boy and the girl, who are kind of
Yep.
together now, they
The
escape.
baseball guy and
yeah,
the
they run
cheerleader.
away into a different car, but they get stuck.
Yes.
One door doesn't open. As trying to break through, Asshole he kind of climbs in, grabs the girl, throws her behind him into the zombies,
Yes.
and smashes his way out while the boy, he's there to kind of
Yes.
push the zombie out. and
Closes the door. Yeah.
Closes the door, and his girlfriend now, she's having a rough time. She's infected.
Yeah. She's like rapidly changing.
Yes, and he is crying, he's apologizing, and she kind of just dies, and then zombie and bites him.
Num 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 num.
Num 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 num. So they
Lots
get a
of
bit
num
of
num num.
Yes. Meanwhile, he gets out and runs, and the conductor, he has a train already, like an engine
Yes.
going. He kind of runs and being chased by more zombies. The conductor, he goes to kind of help him. The asshole guy falls down.
Yes.
And then drags and kind of pulls the engineer conductor into the zombie's way so he can get away onto the train. Dick move. Dick move.
Rude.
The homeless man holds back a zombie horde while the others escape out a small hole and find a working locomotive. So basically,
Yes.
the runaway train tips over.
Yep.
Some under the other train somehow. It flips over, whatever. But now the two cars, all the cars are kind of leaning. It's kind of tipping over. The dad digs underneath and he gets out. And of course, this piece of metal and machinery or part of the train falls. He's got to force it out of the way. Sue and the pregnant lady get underneath and they escape as the car kind of collapses on the zombies.
Yes.
But a lot of them escape.
Yes.
And the homeless man, he's the one who kind of saved him.
Yeah. Which is so sweet.
Yeah. Yep, and they climb onto the locomotive, and a bunch of zombies kind of grab on and have a big old train of zombie, which is a cool scene.
Yeah.
I like this scene.
So neat. It just shows you like how persistent they are, basically.
Oh yes, they are determined. And the dad, he finally managed to kick them off, and they're all happy that they're escaping.
Yep.
until
Until.
as they head toward Busan, a zombified asshole. Well, he's half zombified.
He's half
then
zombie,
he
yeah.
kind of fully zombifies. Attacks Dad and bites him before the dad can throw him off from the train.
Yes.
Knowing he will turn, he quickly teaches pregnant lady how to operate the train and says his goodbyes to his daughter before throwing himself off the engine. This is heart-wrenching.
This is the worst scene in the movie. You will bawl your eyes out if you have any sort of heart. It is
I'm heartless.
just
I didn't cry.
heartbreaking. Like,
This, like, the girl does such a fan. Like, she is in anguish. Like,
Yes.
she is very, very upset, and this girl performs it very well. Even the dad, he breaks down at the end because he's finally, kind of. There's a scene where, when they get into the car of all the upper class,
Yep.
and he punches the asshole a couple times, he kind of realized that was him. Like, he was
Yes.
like that beginning,
yes.
but now he's more humanized. Like,
Yes.
he realizes, every life is precious,
Exactly.
and he's got to help these people out.
Oh, and she's just screaming for him and screaming for
Yes.
him. And he moves around the car so she can't see him. And we watch his eyes glaze over. And in his last moments,
He's seeing his
He's-
daughter born.
yes, he's seeing his daughter being born and holding her for the first
Yeah.
time. And it's just like, he's crying. And then he just, like, falls down into the tracks.
Yeah, you see his shadow of him just kind of
yes.
fall forward.
Oh,
He had a
it's
great
so
arc. He went from being
sad.
kind of a upper class snobby workaholic
Exactly.
to a loving father who did anything and everything to protect and keep his daughter safe.
Exactly.
He kind of realized his mistakes, and it's great. It's a
Yeah.
great
Such a
character.
good scene.
great character just arc.
Yes.
Pregnant lady and Sue are forced to stop at a blocked tunnel just before Busan and walk.
Mm-hmm.
At the tunnel's exit, military snipers prepare to fire on them until they hear Sue singing Aloha O.
Yeah.
And realize they're human and quickly help the pair to safety.
Yeah.
Which is cool because they're at the end and they have the binoculars. We got two bogies approaching.
Yep.
What do you advise us to do? Can you confirm? Nope, we can't confirm that they're human. Kill them.
Mm-hmm.
And so they're just about to fire, and
Yeah.
they hear the girl singing.
Yes.
They're like, nope, save them. We got survivors.
Yeah.
And so they survive.
Off they go.
The end.
The end. I wish that we would kind of know what happens, but like I understand why they ended it where they did because you're never gonna get a satisfying ending. It's just
Nope.
part of these movies.
Yeah, it's very, not dark, but
Yes. Well, it is kind of dark. I think.
I
Yeah.
wouldn't say anticlimactic. It's a very open-ended ending.
Yes.
Because you can't really, and the zombies all just died from coronavirus. Like, it's
Yes.
you
yeah.
can't end those movies on a high note. You got to
Always.
kind of end it with they survive, but what's next?
See, and I love movies like this where they have no shame in like. Well, my tree just turned on.
Your tree just got very bright.
What happened? Is that the
Zombie.
ghost?
I'm thinking ghost.
What the hell?
Because you're like,
Why is it so bright? Do you see that part right
Oh, yeah.
there? Oh my god.
that is weird. Okay.
Okay, cool. Cool. So I can't remember what I was saying. I was just blinded. Oh my god, what was I saying? Ah, crap. Obviously wasn't that.
About the endings, how they have to be.
Oh yes, when they're not scared to kill off like the main characters.
No.
That takes balls, and like it bugs me when I get to the end of a horror movie and everybody survives. That's bullshit.
Yeah.
No one should survive. But I like those kind of movies where like almost everybody dies, like Texas Chainsaw or Jeepers Creepers, those kind of movies. I like when they kill off almost everybody. Like there's usually a final girl, which is fine. And I guess that there kind of was in this too.
Final
but when you get
girls.
so many characters and they kill off almost everybody, I love that.
Yep.
I really appreciate that. Yeah. Yay. I love this movie.
You would like Texas Chainsaw Massacre at the beginning.
Oh, yeah?
You would like that.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, I probably would.
But yeah. So how would you rate this movie? How would you rate Train to Busan?
You know, I'd probably rate this a 4. Like, I think this is one of my favorite movies still from all the horror movies I've watched. This is by far, like, one of my favorite movies. It's just got amazing music. Like, the zombies are creepy. It's heartfelt. The characters are unreal. Like, it's got all the makings of such a good movie. And there's nothing really that I don't like about it. Like, it's just, it can be a little tiny bit slow in, like, the beginning, but that's usually how it goes.
But that's
in
how
these
also
movies, right?
they got the characters established.
Exactly, and why you
And
get so upset when they start dying.
It gave the main character, the dad,
Yes.
all his flaws.
Exactly.
And it
Yep.
gave him, okay, this is his flaws. Now what's he going to do to become better?
100%, yeah.
Yeah.
It's just such a good movie. It's just not, like, overly scary. Like, I think that I could probably watch this with my mom, who's the biggest scaredy cat of all time, and she'd probably be able to make it through most of the movie.
She'd have a tough one with this, though, with all the blood and
Do you
gore.
think? I'm
I
trying
think
to
she
talk
would.
her into this. Mom, if you're listening to this, don't listen to Nick. Watch it with me.
She'd like it for the... Well, she gets sad, though. She'd be upset with some scenes.
Totally. Yeah. She's also not big into dub movies either, so I don't think she'd
Yeah.
be, like, super jazzed, but
Oh, well.
yeah. What about you?
I'd give it a 3.5.
Okay.
It was good.
Yep.
It was kind of some of the same old. You've seen the fast zombies before.
For sure.
Um,
Tree just turned off again. Update.
Weird. Your tree's possessed. That's weird. Like, there's this little bit of light. So just
I
didn't
know.
want to work all of a sudden.
That's so weird that it's happening while we're on the air.
Yeah.
It's bizarre.
I would say something to do with the furnace being
The
turned on.
demonic angel I have at the top.
That's creepy. Anyway, but 3.5. I loved when they're coming into the first station.
Yes.
The music.
Yes.
Just the foreboding, just bass, just do.
Yeah.
Loved it. That was perfect.
Mm-hmm.
That set the tone that you don't know what the hell's going to go on.
I agree.
Other music was pretty. It was good. I like the cramped quarters of the cars because there's only one way in or out,
Yep.
which I loved. The effects are great. I loved like the veins.
Yes.
Showed they were turning.
I love the simplicity of the zombies. It
Yes.
almost makes it more real, than having like rotting pieces falling
There
off.
wasn't too graphic. They
Yeah.
had like just blood on them. That
Yeah.
was it. Blood and some gnashing teeth.
Except there's like a couple scenes where like in the train station when they fall off of that thing
Oh,
and
yes.
like there's some like contortionist people chasing
Oh
after them.
yes, that's
Yeah.
right.
But that's not even that bad.
But that's great effects.
Yes.
That's like some guy who could do that. They said, "Hey,
For
look what I can do."
sure.
He did it. I was like, "Okay, that's in the movie."
Yep.
Great. Yeah, I like the kills are pretty tame
Yep,
compared to
I
say
agree.
again compared to Dawn of the Dead. Those are a lot more graphic kills. But that's Hollywood.
Yes.
That's where the money comes into play.
Exactly.
This doesn't have the budget of those movies.
Exactly.
But for what they did, it's a great movie. It's a great horror. It's a
Yeah.
great zombie movie. It's one of the best I think
It
out
is.
there.
I totally agree.
Yeah, 3.5.
Yay!
It's great.
I agree. Yeah, that's a good rating.
It's a great movie.
Yay!
It could have been a bit better,
Mm-hmm.
but to make it better, would have to be effects.
Sure.
That's where it's probably lacking, if anything, effects and a little more scares. Mm-hmm. It was a little lacking. There's some good spots,
Yeah,
but it became kind of like very repetitive.
for sure.
Like going through each car, same thing. Oh, darkness. Okay, we can get around them. Same thing.
Right.
One of the better, probably tense scenes was when they were him and like the dad and the old man, or
Yeah.
the homeless guy, were hiding behind the seats,
Oh, that
And-
got me.
and they were ready to go. 1, 2, and of course the homeless man stepped on a can and like run, and they ran.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Suspense is good. I
Oh,
love
yeah.
that.
But it gets east, like they get suspense down pat.
Yes. Yeah, really good. Yay. And Ichabod's Kill the Flick.
Kill the Flick. She had a tough time with this because she was...
Yeah. There's just because the kills are not very graphic. And I don't know if that's like akin to the culture or why it's not so like graphic, but
and there's a lot of cutaways too. You don't really see much. And a lot of it's just, biting the neck, and they kind of they shake around a lot, shaky cam. You don't really see much.
Exactly.
But I think the Kill the Flick is the first one.
Yeah.
When the girl comes on the board, the train at first, and the one attendee goes and helps her out, and she dies, and then she comes back, just grabs her and bites her hard, and then just like the monopoly.
I was gonna say like the domino effect,
although a close second would be the girlfriend and the boy.
Yes, just because it's so heartbreaking.
Yeah, how he just kind of accepts it. He didn't try and fight it off. He just, nope, this is happening.
Aww. So many good kills, though. Like, just good in the fact of, like heartbreaking almost,
Yes.
And it's nice seeing that, you don't need gore and slashing and horrible, like, deaths to make it, like, heartbreaking and to feel those deaths,
I would have given it to Tough Guy. Yeah. But he's got bit in the hand.
Yeah, and then he just turned.
And he just kind of held one of the zombies up and just kind of held on and held him off. It was memorable, but it wasn't graphic or anything, which I always kind of put into the Kill the Flick. Yes. It has to be the most memorable death.
Definitely.
His death was memorable for the wrong reasons.
Right. Yeah.
So that's my reasoning.
Yeah. And that was Train to Busan.
Train to Busan.
Yay.
Good movie. Good one.
Whoop, whoop. And next week
we're watching A Haunting in Connecticut.
Yes. And I've never watched it.
I saw it once. This is a long time ago when it first came out. It creeped me out.
Cool.
It was a creepy movie.
I've watched a couple haunting movies recently, and so I'm excited to see how this one does, because it's like 10 years-ish old, isn't it?
Yeah. A guy at work who listens to the podcast is mad because we haven't reviewed his favorite movie, which is Haunting Connecticut. So we'll appease the fans.
Yay!
We'll appease our victim.
Yeah, I think our next few are viewer requests, so that's exciting. Yeah.
This one, and then I think The Strangers are after that.
Yeah, The Strangers, and that's Victoria's.
Yes.
She requested that we watch it because she said it's the one movie that she can never watch again because it scared her so much.
Ooh.
So I know.
I haven't seen that one yet.
Neither have I.
I own it, and I haven't seen it.
I didn't know you owned it. I've seen the follow-up to it, The Strangers Who Pray at Night, I think it's called, or something. Yeah. Strangers Who Come at Night, something like that. I watched that one. Happens in a trailer park. It's good.
Also, I forgot to say, Train to Busan has a sequel.
Oh, yeah.
Peninsula. And it was out this year, October 21st.
Oh, my God. Like a month ago.
Yeah.
I guess when this comes out, it'll be the beginning of December. Oh, my God. It's the beginning of December. 2020 is almost over.
Santa Claus.
Santa Claus.
So next week, Haunted Connecticut.
Yay.
And
yeah.
Spooky Scary. Back to the Spooky Scary
Back
movies.
to Spooky Scary.
Yay.
And thank you so much for joining us. This episode was brought to you by our executive producer, Ichabod. We hope you enjoyed your Horr-Gasm as much as we did. Please don't forget to rate, download, and subscribe. Also, like and follow us on Facebook at Horr-Gasm Podcast, Instagram, oh my God, Instagram at Horr-Gasm, Twitter at Gasm Horror, and YouTube at the Horr-Gasm Podcast. If you have a movie you'd like us to review, this is the best way to let us know. We hope to see you again next week because we have such sights to show you. Plenty of Horr-Gasms for you to experience. Bye!
See ya!